Hello everyone, I'm here with Cloudy from SrPeakCheck and we're here to talk about Stage 4 playoffs because it's coming up this weekend, so I thought I'd catch up with him about the team, how they're doing and their expectations. So to start with Cloudy, I thought I'd ask you about the roster changes going into Stage 4 because we've lost Kronos and we've gained Ilppi, who we've seen playing a lot. We've also gained Mikchi and Prep, as you just seem to be amassing more and more Finnish players onto this roster. So talk me through the roster changes, why these players going in and out.
Well, the original plan was to play with Kronos stage 4 as well. But then Kronos was like one day before, he was like, yo, bro, I want to go play on, what's the team, Vendetta? Because he wants to play with friends, which is like fair enough. You know, we're not like the most hyper serious professional organization. So if you want to play with friends, that's fine. And then I messaged Ilp because he messaged me like actually 4 days before that he wants to play Juno. So it kind of worked out perfectly. So we got Ilppi. And then I was like, might as well get some more Finnish players going at this point. So I just took two of Finnish players to chill. I mean, they're probably not going to play and they know. So they're just there for just in case someone can't play or anything.
Can you tell me, I don't really know much about Ilppi. Can you maybe fill me in a little bit, like what's his history and what type of player he is?
Well, he's been playing in Finnish OWCS, I don't know, like 5 years at this point, really long time. Tier 3, mostly Tier 2. So I mean, that's his history. He's been around a lot of teams, and he used to be a flex support player. Then he played Lucio lately, and now he just suddenly transitions to a Juno player, which works out perfectly for us. So he's pretty good, chill guy.
Yeah, all right, lines up then. And then before we get on to Stage 4 itself, I wanted to ask you a little bit about ENCE and the sort of journey this year, because right at the start of the year, it was a very different situation, sort of the big ENCE announcement. It's becoming a very big, serious team, you know, Kai, Kevster, all of these players getting added to it. But as a result, it felt like obviously you lost a lot of the sort of SrPeakCheck identity when you went through that. With the power of hindsight now, would you have done anything differently, or do you maybe regret that decision, or are you happy with it, or anything you would have changed with the power of hindsight?
Well, I think the ENCE thing was, I mean, we did all we could. The ENCE thing was the best choice we could have made at the start of the year. Things worked out, but then Kamba started executing the Finnish players one by one. So, I mean, I knew how the house was crumbling, but then also Kamba, had enough, so he left. But I don't think there's anything more we could have done. I mean, it kind of sucks because the team lost its aura, but obviously it's a good team, but I don't really care. So I'm happy how it went. There was no other choice it could have done. And I got anything what I wanted at the end of the year anyway. So personally it went fine. The only thing that really pissed me off is like I asked the ENCE, like, okay, I've helped you out a lot. I got this team together for you. Just release Masa before stage 3. And then they held him hostage for stage 3. And then Masa was like, okay, I'm done. So now he's like actually retired for good. So that's like the only thing that pisses me off. Because like, let's be honest, they didn't need to hold him hostage for circuit points anyway. Like we were never going to be a threat to them in circuit points in any case. So they pretty much just held Masa hostage to be assholes, which is like, they have the right to do that, but that kind of pissed me off.
Well, yeah, I also, in reality, that's also not how the circuit points worked. Even if they kept Masa on the roster, they wouldn't have got him unless they played him actively, which they had no intention of doing.
I mean, the only reason they held him back was to be like an asshole to, I don't know, to someone, maybe me, maybe Masa, who knows? We'll never know. But like that is legitimately the only reason. Because like even if we had Masa with 100 whatever circuit points, yes, like we were never going to be a threat to them in any way.
Yeah, we're still way ahead no matter what, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
You're right. I agree. It's a big shame. Do you think now you're back in the SrPeakCheck, do you enjoy this more than the time on ENCE?
100,000%. Like, obviously I think we can win a lot and we're having more fun and people enjoy playing with each other. And it's more fun, at least for me.
And then I wanted to ask you a little bit about streaming scrims, because at the start of the year, it felt like it was a big push for streaming scrims. Lots of teams were doing it. But now you're very much the last bastion in EMEA still streaming the scrims. So from your perspective, does it ever cause internal issues within the team that you've got it on your stream at the same time? I know Ghost streams a bit as well, but there's the sort of public are always looking in when your things are maybe going badly or causing issues.
No, I mean, our team is like zero issues with it because they know like our entire team is built around we stream scrims, we stream everything we can. So like everyone is 100% on board, right? Like when they join the team, they know what they're into. But the only issue is that other teams don't want us to stream scrims. So That's the only problem. But internally, we have zero issues with streaming. And like every time we talk about strategies and stuff, we just type in Discord or mute the stream. So it's not like we're leaking like the important stuff anyway.
Do you feel like it causes maybe more issues because you play the Ryan comp and you're the only team playing that? Do you feel sometimes because you give away more than other teams, it causes you more issues because teams already sort of know what you're going to play and then they get all this extra footage on you? Do you ever feel like you're at a big competitive disadvantage because of it?
I mean, it depends, right? It can be used both ways. Like for an example, when we played EXO, like we've never played the venture thing ever in scrims or anything, and then we just pull out in the match, right? You think we're gonna play one thing, and then we play like one scrim off stream, and then we play another thing, right? So it's a double-edged sword. You can use it or get used by it, pretty much.
And then I guess it's the sort of thing that you plan on to keep doing, essentially, as long as the team sort of exists in some form.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Maybe we'll just play some Junkrat everywhere. I don't care.
And then I want to ask you about the meta broadly, because I've been asking all the teams about the meta, obviously. Lots of Orisa in play, lots of Juno Brig. Obviously, it doesn't really apply to your team in the same way. It feels like, though, we have seen more and more variety coming out of you, mostly in the DPS picks. You talked about the Venture a little bit. We've seen a lot of Sim. We've seen Fi playing Junkrat, Tracer, all sorts of different things. So, right now in the meta, how much are you having to change stuff to try and make it work? Because it feels like on paper, when it's an Orisa heavy meta, that's going to be bad for Reinhardt.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I have to be honest, a lot of people haven't played Orisa into us. I don't know why. They just played the Winston Farah Ash thing. But I mean, so far, I mean, we haven't played the best team, but Meta Boys Orisa has not broken us. So I'm feeling extremely confident. I think we're winning it all as someone plays Orisa. So, I mean, I don't know. The Orisa was a big problem, like with Lucia, but I think Juno just fixes everything for Ryan, because like then you're like Baptiste is more free to shoot, and then like I can just run around with a speed boost. No one has to pocket me, and then Juno all this OP with Ryan. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see if people actually play the Boston Uprising thing. We'll see what happens.
I would say, I don't know if you've seen, but Ramatra Punch in North America, Derpy's team, is obviously a Reinhardt team as well, and they ran into Orisa in their second game of groups as well and had a very bad time. So is there part of you that's maybe worried you're going to see more of that now?
I mean, I also saw they're playing like May Cassidy, and I'm like, where's the Symmetra Junkrat, bro? Like, you're not going to win with that. Symmetra Junkrat is the secret sauce, so I'm not really too worried. Because like, what are you going to do with Prick, Juno, Cass, May against Bastard? I don't know. I think we can win. I'm not too worried about that.
With all these sort of slightly different looks, with the Venture, with the Tracer, the Junkrat, the Sim, all of this, is there one person in the team who's really the mastermind behind all of this, or is it sort of a group effort to solve these problems when people start counter-comping you and playing all these difficult heroes?
Well, I like do a lot of the calling, but sometimes DPS are like, I want to play this, and then they just play that, you know. So it's Donnet just wanted to play Venture because he felt like he couldn't do a lot on Sim. So it's pretty much the DPS saying if they want to swap. And then everyone else is just playing their 3 characters. So if they want to swap, they say something, and then we usually swap.
Yeah, well, worked out pretty well. I want to talk to you about the EXO game, because obviously you got your rematch. You got 3-0'd though in the first round of groups. What went wrong there, and what did you change for the next one?
Well, it's a kind of a cop-out, as we just played really bad. Like first map, like not a single person was talking. Second map, we got 30 meters on Rialto. And then, you know, that happens. And then we really thought about why were we getting rolled. Like they were just perma-flanking, playing as Farah, Winston, and we were just AFK. So we talked about it a lot. And then we obviously like just started walking into the more with the Venture stuff, and it really helped a lot in the series. Well, we still only got 45 meters on Rialto, but at least it was 15 meters more than last time.
Well, it's like 50% more. So you're doing that again, we're going to get up to 60 meters? Or
I feel like as when we get to the end of Rialto first point, I'll be very pleased. That's the goal. And we can win. We don't even need to cap first. We just need to get to the end, and we have a chance. But everything else went fine, so we won our maps, and then hybrid is always a dogfight, and then we won that one, so it worked out for us.
It felt like, compared to Swiss, because Swiss went very well for you guys, do you feel like now we've entered the sort of groups in the top 8, what happens is the teams know their schedule much further in advance. So teams know they will have SrPeakCheck in their group, or they'll know they'll be playing you in the first game in a week's time, whatever. Does it get dramatically harder for you when teams have this time to prepare and think about what they want to play and what maps they want to pick and all of this compared to Swiss?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it changes that much. Like pretty much like if you're a good team, you have one day or a week, you're gonna play like one of the 4 things. So we know anything that anyone can play. We'll know after first fight what it's gonna be. So it won't change that much. And someone picking like Rialto against us is not like a huge shock or like changes the game too much. So I think it's not too bad.
And when we get to the actual bracket itself, your first game is against Piece of Cake. So how do you rate your chances against them?
I mean, BenBest is horrifying. Like the coach, like I don't know if he can take on BenBest, but if he can take on BenBest, he can take on anyone. So I think we can do it.
It says if this team falls, then everything's gonna fall.
Yeah. I mean, if you take down the best, who's gonna stop us? ENCE? I don't think so.
Well, if you win, you do potentially you get that ENCE rematch and the upper semi.
Very true. We'll see who's the problem. Kyrie was the problem. Wasn't the problem.
And then, obviously, if I ask you what the ideal result for this tournament would be, you'd probably say win it and go to Stockholm. But obviously, there's a lot of strong teams in this. So what sort of result would you have to achieve with the team for you to be happy with this tournament?
I mean, as long as, obviously winning. Like anything else than winning is a disappointment, but at least top 5. Mm-hmm. Anything else than top 5 is very disappointing. But I think we have some sort of a chance to win. If we do well in first match, I think we can win. But unfortunately, we got a little bit of a late start to the year, so it was always going to be hard. And stage 3, most of us held hostage, and we flopped the bed, to say. But I think we're already fine. Like we're going to keep going next year anyway, because everyone likes playing with each other. So we always knew this end of the year was going to be hard for us. So hoping for the best.
Who do you think is the best team then in this tournament, or strongest team of a region coming into this?
I mean, probably SSG, right? I mean, they know how to play Russ. ENCE has no idea how to play Russ, because their tanks are kind of don't know how to lead, and then I don't know what's going on there. But SSG probably.
Okay, fair. And I mean, I guess we talked about it a little bit already, but is there any team you're particularly looking forward to facing in this tournament?
I mean, I want to beat ENCE. That would be really funny. Then at that point, I don't care if we win or lose anymore. I've got it my one.
You've gotten your,
I got it my one. And then obviously SSG if they play Ryan, but I don't know if they'll play Ryan anyway. Probably, I mean, if Hardy plays, they'll probably play some Orisa Bast and stuff. But we'll see. That would be funny.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Cloudy. I appreciate your time. Obviously, good luck to you and the team for the tournament. I'm sure we'll be watching.
Thanks.